I think it's very relevant, right? Especially with the balloons being shot down and all in the last couple of weeks. But I think so I do own I think about 3 or 4 Chinese companies in the portfolio, but the allocation has always been low. And the allocation has always been low because of largely the concerns of the Chinese government and just generally how they tend to be more interventionist in the overall portfolio. But yet we always wanted exposure to the Chinese portfolio. So for example, I just to give you an example, right? We own four companies, right? 3 companies right now actually, which is just Tencent, Meituan, and JD.com. We have exited the Alibaba just last quarter because we've seen their growth taper down quite a fair bit, and they've been losing market share to the other e-commerce players, including Pinduoduo, ByteDance, and also Toutiao. So I think we've seen a fair bit of that, and you can see the profit margins have been just not strong at all. They have actually lagged JD.com in terms of overall growth, right? So to go back to this is really, I think one is that firstly, the Chinese government is always going to be there to rein in some of that growing companies, and we saw a fair bit of them when some of the leaders also don't know how to 做人, right? I think they clearly can show who is the power. But I think that view has also been relaxed because the Chinese government know that ultimately a lot of these new jobs, innovation is all being driven by these companies, and I think they show enough of their stance, and I think some of them have come back. So yes, I would say that thematically wise, in terms of the thoughts, the market opinions, I think it's turning a bit more optimistic overall from the standpoint in terms of China. Now, obviously, China went through the COVID, and they experienced it very, very bad. But I think close to about 80-90% of the population, just what they are saying, have probably gotten COVID over the last month or so in November, December, which is actually a great thing, right? So now they're fully open. So there seems to be some optimism in terms of China, but actually structurally, I'm actually long-term quite bearish on China. And let me try to give you an explanation why, right? So if you go and pull out China's population, there are 2 population charts that I want you to take a look at. The first one is the working age population. The China's working age population has already peaked back at about 4 or 5 years ago, in about 2016 or 2017 or so. So it's already peaked, come off, because China has a one-child policy, and once you have a one-child policy, it takes decades, right? And people don't give birth to more than 1 kid after a long time also, and also with rising cost of raising the kids and all. Now, the second thing is that for the first time, China's population has declined, which is last year. So you can see thematically, the demographics are not going to move in your favor, and you see the likes of Japan, right? So structurally, I'm getting a bit more bearish, but that doesn't mean that this is probably going to take like 10-20 years. But I'm really getting more bearish because structurally that is looking what it is. But yet there are still going to be businesses that can still do well, right? So like, for example, we want to find the ones that can do very well, have scale, and are driving a lot of innovation, and are still making China better, right? So the likes of Tencent, for example, with all their gaming, the technology, marketing, Meituan with their commerce, JD.com is essential, with their strongest mode of all the logistic and all the warehouses across China, and able to do that Amazon Prime 1-day delivery, right? That's just crazy, right? Across the whole of China, right? So there are just a few companies that I think can continue to still ride this. I'm still on the lookout for some Chinese companies, but I've not found any that can continue to do that. If Ant Financial does release, I would be happy to look at it. I think it will be quite interesting, and I remember looking at it; it was quite amazing. But other than that, I have not seen anything particularly interesting in China over the last year. But of course, there are some other ones like, say, Kway Chao Mao, who have been doing very good on alcohol. Obviously, some good ones there. But that said, I think there are just very few in my opinion. So that's why also the portfolio is, I would say, probably less than 5% is China right now. Also for that reason.